Welcome, guys. I don't know if anybody's here, but I'm just going to talk anyway and keep my eyes on the road. Orientation's lock rotation. Looks like I'm doing vertical. All right, well, bear with me if anybody's still here. I'm going to set this up. I need a tripod or something. I guess I'm live. All right, so what's going on, guys? John Springer Collectibles. Didn't put my face on this morning. And I'm going to pick up some inventory. While I do consignments is the main thing that I do. So if you have anything to consign, please contact me, SpringerCollectibles@gmail, or just send me a message through here, SpringerCollectibles@gmail. You can find me on Whatnot, 5-star seller on Whatnot. Check that out. But when I do consignments, people bring me their items, or I can sell from their home if they want, from their storage unit, and we can sell whatever's collectible, basically. So otherwise, I love sourcing and picking and finding things that collectors love. So when people come in my streams, I always ask them, what do you collect? And then I kind of take mental notes of that, or we'll start, writing down what people collect, and I'll start to know the buyers that come into the streams and what they're looking for. For example, I have one buyer, he comes in, he's always looking for old license plates, a big license plate collector. That's something that was never on my radar, that I never tried to source, and now every time an auction comes up or something like that, I'll look for that for him. I'll try to buy in bulk and, give him a good deal. There's other collectors that will want those as well if there's stuff he doesn't want. So I know that they'll always sell like old license plates. So when people tell me what they collect, I pay attention and I try to bring it on the show, into the live streams. I love the variety that I can bring to the streams as well. So it only helps when I learn about new fandoms or new things that people collect. So another, ephemera is another one. I never really did ephemera, and I started having people ask for old photos and the cards, what are they called, card of beast? I'm probably saying it wrong, but cabinet cards and all that stuff. So today I'm trying something new. If I find what I think is a good deal, I'll bring it on to the stream and see if we have collectors for it. So old advertising, I did sell a little bit of that the other day, so it kind of made me think, maybe. And this stuff that I sold was from like the 60s, so the stuff that I found was from the 20s and 30s. Really interesting advertising. A little sketchy. I think I'll wear gloves for that one. Old medicines from like the unregulated medicines, kind of like how Coca-Cola used to have actual Coke in it. It's items like that. So that's one thing. But then you'll get like Masters of the Universe. Like I got like He-Man and G.I. Joe stuff, of course. Always on the lookout for that. So I have a huge Masters of the Universe stream coming up that I have to put schedule through Whatnot, but it's probably going to be, I don't know, like 30 complete figures, Castle Grayskull, and Snake Mountain. So look out for that, as well as a lot of G.I. Joe mocks coming up too. G.I. Joe mocks and completes from the 80s and 90s. So I hope you guys join for that. If you're not familiar with my channel, my stream, go to Whatnot. There should be a link in the YouTube description. And if you're a seller, I'm happy to help with that too. There's links to become a seller, and there's links to become a buyer on Whatnot. So thank you guys for joining. If you're here, it's hard for me to see if anybody's in right now. I figured, why not? I got like a 20-30 minute drive. Why not just go live here? And I can't read the chats, but thank you for putting chats up, guys. Share this stream. Make sure you look at Springer Collectibles on Whatnot. It's a lot of fun, guys, to come in there. The items that I'm picking up today, you will see on Whatnot probably this week, if not even, maybe even today. So before I was talking about what I'm picking up today, and it's always a surprise. Like last auction, I picked up like a huge ephemera lot, and it was incredible. All I could see in the description was like sports magazines and I guess some like personal effects for whoever owned this stuff and papers, and it's like a big bin of stuff. And I did notice it was a Joe DiMaggio signed magazine. I thought, I'll take a chance on that. It does look like his signature. It ended up having a certificate of authenticity with it. It was from a big auction house too, so to me that was trustworthy. I already sold it. It was in an auction house that I saw, actually, ironically, coincidentally, I saw this auction house on Sunday morning. That show Sunday Morning, and they talk. It's like they do like a lot of odd celebrity oddities. Of course, now I can't think of the name of the auction house. Let's see. I just stopped by to say what's up and peace. Oh, thank you. Don't forget to leave please leave a like, and please, I usually don't do this. I usually go live through Whatnot, and it just multicast through Whatnot, which is amazing. But I figured I got this boring long drive. I'd rather talk about what I'm doing and then show you guys the stuff that I pick up. So I think it's kind of exciting. I don't know about you guys if you're collectors or resellers, but if I can find good auctions that I can bring a lot of quantity of inventory to you guys on Whatnot and get some unique stuff, then everybody wins, because I usually try to pass off what I get. If I get a good deal, I'll give you guys a good deal also, and everybody wins. And I love finding unique items. So I was saying we did old advertising, like tins, not advertising tins, but like medicine, old medicine. So I'm curious to see what that is. Oh, I didn't finish the story about the ephemera. So I'm looking through this ephemera bin. I'm all over the place, sorry guys. And I'm looking through the ephemera bin, and I pull out all this Kennedy stuff starts coming up. I didn't know it was in there, like magazines. There was 2 letters that this person had correspondence with the White House. As like a younger person, they I guess they wanted to know about the president. So I have like correspondence from the president. It's actually in the store and Whatnot, you know, from the president's office in the 60s, for LBJ, Kennedy. And then I came across a collection of Jacqueline Kennedy covers, like magazines with Jacqueline Kennedy on the cover. And one of them appears to be signed by her. I'm a little skeptical that it's her real, wait, what does it say? But you're not, that it's her real signature. Because I can't find this cover. It's called like Catholic Miss Magazine. So I'm probably going to send it into PSA just to be sure. It does look real. So I got to do more research on that one. So you never know what you're going to get. That ephemera lot was pretty cheap too. And it was just a treasure trove of interesting paperwork, postcards, sports magazines, Kennedy stuff. Oh, there was even a Kennedy inauguration booklet. Like the program from Kennedy's inauguration was in that lot too. On the surface, you would think that would be pretty valuable because it was numbered like 700 out of whatever. I don't know how many they produced, but each one is individually numbered. Shockingly, it was only worth like approximately $20, $30, and I think I got about just under $20 for it on Whatnot. So if you're still hanging out with me, thank you guys. Let's see, what else? I'm trying to think what else is in the lot. There's comic books. I'm always trying to pick up comics because people always ask for comics every stream. So I have probably another couple hundred comics I'm picking up. And what else was in that lot? There's old diecast too. Diecast and comics have been really, really in demand right now. When I go live, that's pretty much every single time I have that stuff, it sells out. But yeah, we'll see this stuff in a little bit. I'll keep this rolling as long as I can, and then show the actual items, and then we're gonna list the items and Whatnot, or put some of them up, and then just go live and probably do a pop-up. Let's see, is this live like showing history? TV? Are you talking about Pawn Stars? I was just listening to Pawn Stars on the way here, listening to Rick Harrison. There was an interview with him, and it was a really good interview actually. I think it was pretty recent on YouTube, and it was a long interview. That show, like he says, it's like a comfort show. It really is. There's so many episodes to watch, and there's so many interesting items that go on there. So it's kind of neat to watch that show all the time. Just having that, all those episodes, kind of inspires you to think like what else is out there. People keep finding things, which is always shocking to me, like that there's still great finds out there, but there really are still. So other things that I'm picking up at the auction house. I saw this picture of Lincoln, and it looks like a cabinet card of Lincoln, but I can't tell if it's a copy. It might be a copy of something from the 1800s that maybe was produced in the late 1800s or early 1900s. But I paid like nothing for it. I figured the frame itself, I paid like $20 for it. I figured the frame itself is worth at least 20 because the frame looks like it's probably from the turn of the century. It's ornate, it's gold colored, just looks really nice and well done. It's matted, and on the back of the painting, or not the painting, the frame, it said something like 1900 century. Like no one talks about that. It said like Lincoln from the 1900 century, not like 20th century or 19th century. It said the 1900 century. So it makes me think like it was probably like really early turn of the century stuff. So it could be something nice. You never know. That's why I'm gonna probably I might take it apart and see what the photo is inside, because I actually ended up getting a photo lot, like an old photo album a few months ago. It was a photo album like Victoria, I guess you would call it Victorian area, I don't know, 1860s, 1870s, and there was all these great photos in there, cabinet cards, and there was one of Lincoln. It was made after Lincoln's assassination. It was Lincoln and George Washington like in an embrace, and I think it's called like the Apothecary or something like that. So that photo was in the album. I took that one out and sold it separately, and the album was beautiful. Like the leather everything was still bound, and the clasp is still working. So it's really nice. So you never know, if you buy something like that, you never know what could be, in an album like that. So I always look for old photos. That's another thing. The Lincoln picture. And then, of course, 80s toys. I think I'm going to pick up some Masters of the Universe today, as well as, I think, some other Hot Wheels stuff, too. So, interesting haul. It's going to be something that I'm looking forward to putting on Whatnot for the next stream. So I hope you guys, if you aren't familiar with my Whatnot streams, please go look for the link in the bio. I'm pretty sure the link to become a buyer is there, and also to become a seller. And if you've never bought on Whatnot and you're a collector, or if you even just anybody should be checking out live selling. It's amazing. There's 250 categories of products you can buy 24/7. If you like sports cards, you can get into sports card breaks. You can buy really anything from like food to sneakers to Pokemon, Funko Pops, collectibles, coins. I mean, you name the collectible or fandom, it should be on Whatnot. And it's still, this doesn't surprise me yet, but it's still early on where it's surprising that people haven't even heard of live selling yet. They don't even know what it is. So I always have to describe it kind of the way that I think the founder describes it too, which is like QVC meets eBay. So everyone gets to be their own QVC host, essentially. Or, if you're looking at like TikTok or Instagram, people do sell on there too, or Facebook Live. So it's kind of like that for some people that know about that. But the older generations have no idea what that means for the most part. Like even my generation, Gen X, has no clue about selling live and what that is, and that you can even do that. In China, it's big, live selling. People even go to school for it, from what I've read. And it's a huge industry in China. They're always ahead of the curve, though, when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I think it's still in its infancy right now in the US. I mean, think about it, like it's almost like the internet in the early 90s, where no one really didn't think it was a thing, and no one was really using it. It's kind of like that. Well, actually, that's more like AI right now, but I digress, because AI is literally like having dial-up right now. And most people are like, I don't need that. Who needs the internet? No one they're going to shop on the internet. That's ridiculous. Remember people used to say that? They'd say that I'm not putting my credit card online and buying stuff. There's always skeptical people in the beginning, and then it turns into normal. I'm sure even back to when people were riding horses and cars came out, people, I'm not riding a car. Are you crazy? I mean, what am I doing right now? I'm riding in a car. And I'm sure there was guys that were holding out with their horse. I'm not getting a car. I'm sticking with my horse. Just like there's people like, I'm not getting an iPhone. I don't need a smart dumb phone. Make me dumb. I'm gonna stick with no phone or a flip phone. It's the same. It's almost the same thing. But you have to adapt to the changes. So just like live selling is definitely something that I think brick and mortars need to adopt as well. I think like a sole proprietor, someone that doesn't have a physical store, is lucky that you can now compete with physical. You really can compete with the collectibles or antique store, in the sense that you could have more sales in a day than someone that's paying rent and employees. But it blows my mind that those places aren't going to adopt live selling, because when they have downtime, they have a store of items that they can, that will appeal to people all over the country, not just people that are in their little, zip code, basically, their little bubble. What's better than that? Having live, they can come in and get exactly what they want. You could have customers 24/7. So if you have a brick and mortar, live selling is something you have to implement, I would think. Or if you're trying to do this on the weekends, trying to live sell and whatnot, you can do it as a side gig. You can do it as an extra stream of income. If you're a passionate collector, you can do it to support your hobby too. I know a lot of people that sell just to support their hobby. They get to connect with other collectors. Let's say like G.I. Joe, for example. They can connect with other collectors. They can sell portions of their collections. They can upgrade. They can trade, and maybe they can pay a few bills too at the same time. And it's fun to live sell and connect. Now, I'm not a collector, so I don't look at it that way, but I definitely appreciate and understand collectors now more than ever, because before I had no idea that people dedicated entire rooms to certain fandoms and things like that. People are really passionate about what they collect. I knew about sports cards and memorabilia, and you'd see some people, maybe Star Wars or something, but I didn't know the extent to what people collect and the communities behind it. If you go on Facebook, there's groups literally for everything. you know, you name the thing that is collectible, and there's probably a group for it. And if you don't think it's collectible, it probably still is collectible. Some of the stuff that I've sold, I'm always surprised that there is like a fandom for, or a fan base for it. Like I sold recently, like, I mean, besides like things, the obvious stuff like Beanie Babies, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, like the license plates we talked about, for example, old magazines, t-shirts were a big one. Like 90s t-shirts blew up. I don't know if they're still blowing up right now. Maybe it's come down a little bit, but like I would surprise people and tell them how much their t-shirts are worth. I'm like, you have a Nirvana shirt or a Pearl Jam shirt from the 90s, it could be worth at a minimum a few $100s, if not close to $1,000 or more. And like my brother had a really tattered up Nirvana shirt from like the early 90s, and he sold it for like $400 like instantly. So you never know what you have that's collectible. I sold some old playbills recently, like local playbills, you know, that kind of stuff. People are going to throw out the obvious stuff that gets thrown out. That's, you know, comics, sports cards, stuff like that. It's always a shame. Old toys. But then on the flip side, people think they have things that are collectible and they're not worth anything, and that's frustrating, because we'll get a lot of people saying I have old baseball cards, or, you know, and they're from the 90s or late 80s, and that's considered the junk wax era. So there was so much of that produced that there's just too much of it out there, and it's not a lot of value for the most part. There's definitely like little pockets of value for like junk wax era stuff, but you know, a lot of the times if someone says they're bringing a sports car collection in, it's usually the kind of thing that they should almost pay us to take it, you know, not to the dump or to give it away or something, or we have to sell it in bulk for next to nothing, and then someone else can either, you know, maybe they're a set builder, maybe they just like going through old cards, maybe they give them to the kids, donate them. But there's so much junk wax out there that, you know, a lot of people have like identical collections from, like, if you purchase cards in like the late 80s, early 90s, you know. So that's why when someone contacts us about a consignment or a collection, I always want to get pictures or video first, so I don't waste their time or mine, because there's nothing worse than someone like loading their car up with a bunch of junk wax and then hauling it to you and then unloading it and bringing it in your place to take a look at, and then telling them it's worth, like, I'll give you $50 for all this. That's probably pretty heartbreaking. So I think it's better to just be upfront and transparent, and that's, you know, tell them what they have before they even come in, and then they can make the decision if they want to sell it or not. And usually we're going to like turn down a collection like that because it's not worth the time and energy and effort, you know, unless it's something where there's a few hits in there, and then we'll just take it all off their hands, you know, which I think is almost doing people a favor. Like, you literally would clean an entire closet out. You don't know what to do with something because it's just a lot of bulk, and then, you know, at least it's going to go to a collector that could appreciate it more too, if that person doesn't. So, all right, we're almost there to the auction house. I got to pay attention, make sure I don't miss the turn. But I just thought this would be fun to go live. Why not? And hopefully, if you're new out there, I don't know how you're getting this feed if you're new, but thank you for hanging out, even if it's just for a minute. Check out the link in, I guess, the bio. I think it's in the bio if you look there, and you can join the Whatnot streams and check it out. Check out my channel, of course. Just check out the platform itself. I think you get a coupon for using the link. And if you're a seller, you're thinking about selling, the link should be there too, or you can just DM me and I'll send you a link for the sellers as well. And I think you get like $100 bonus once you do your first live stream and your first sales, and then I think we both benefit from that. I'd love to answer any questions you guys have. Plus, you can check out on this channel here, Springer Collectibles, you can check out the seller Q&A if you're curious about that too. And of course, go to Whatnot's website. They have a ton of information on there. But I think I'm gonna wrap it up now, and the second video will be going through the items that I'm picking up, because I need to go there now and talk to the people that work there and load up the car. So I appreciate you guys watching. I'm John, Springer Collectibles. See you.